is graphics. Today we want to solve another problem in Tangency. We'll be trying to redraw this figure, right? Now if you look at this figure very well, let's see, we want to what? Reproduce this figure. So the first thing you first of all draw, you draw your horizontal line. Now if I take my pencil, I'm going to draw my horizontal line. So let's go back there. So take this, I'll draw an horizontal line this way, right? And I'll have something like this. Now the length of the line, if you look at what we have here, it's giving us 100 and what? 112. So again, it's giving us what? 112, meaning from here to this ending point here is 112. So let's go there and see how we do our 112. So I'll take my meter rule at the beginning of the line here, right, is 1. So again, or better still, I can use my t-square to measure. So I'm starting from 30, right? If you see this 30, so if I'm moving 112, so 30 will be 0, it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. So this is 110, 11 and 12 here. All together, this is from 10 to this is 100 and what? 112. So I've gotten what I want. So if I like, because from this point to this point is thickened, I can thicken it with my rule this way. I can thicken it with my rule this way, from here straight to this point if I want to, right? So you can use your t-square to straighten it, to thicken it if you want to. So thicken from here straight to that point, right? Now the next thing is there's an height. The height is given to be what? 25. Let me zoom it up. So we're looking at from this point to this point, which is what? 25. So let's measure the 25 and see. So the 25, I'll take my set square, I'll place it here, right? So I'll draw my 25 upward this way. So if I start from 1, which is 1, that will be, this will be 0, 10, 20, 25. You can see that? So I'm going to use my set square, my t-square, and I'm going to draw that straight. You can see that? So now the next thing I'll do is I'll make it for my box because it is closed. So I'll close it up with faint line since I'm not sure of the extent of the line, so I'm using faint line to draw. Is that taken? So at this point I'll do this. Is that taken? Now if you look at our drawing again here, we're told that there's a vertical line. Let's see the vertical line. A vertical line, that is this vertical line here, right? So from this to that vertical line is given as what? 10. So from this point, which is this point is this point here, I'll measure 10 inward. So let me measure the 10 inward. I'm starting from 3 backward. So this 3 meaning 0, then it's 10 here. I put together. So in between any of these two numbers is 10. Now I'll now use my t-square. I will extend it upward with faint line. You can see that? I can take it as much as I want to take it. So that is the 10 there. Now if you look at this, from the baseline here, this baseline here, which is this baseline here, or from this point, which is this point, I'm going to measure 100 upward. So I'll start from here, which is here. I'll measure 100 upward. So I'll start from 1. So from 1, I'll go to 11, that will be 100. How this is 11? 1 will be 0, that is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Right? So I'm stopping at this point, at my 100 point mark here. Right? So that point that we have is a point. Now the next thing we'll do is that from that point, I have a radius of what? Of 9. Right? So I'll take my compass and I'll measure 9 on my drawing my meter rule, because here is 9. Look at this, I'm showing you. This point here is what? Is 9. Right? So I'll use 9 to draw an arc in, and I'll use 9 to draw here also. So let's do that and see. So let's do that and see. So let's do that and see. So I'll measure 9 on my meter rule. From 1 to this is 9. Look at that. Just before 2. Right? So I'll place it here. I'll draw an arc this way. It will go inward, right? So like I said, you place it here and you take it inward this way with your faint lines first of all. You can see that faint line first of all. Then this is what I'm showing you. I take it in first of all. There's another one again, which is 8. So I'll go on the same meter rule. I'll measure 8. So let's measure 8 on our meter rule. From 1 here to this point here is 8. Right? So I'll place at this point. Let's see what we're doing. I'll place at this point. And I'll draw another one coming out. I'll mark here. Can I see that? Let me show you. Let me show you what we're talking about. Okay. So after marking my 8 on my meter rule, when I place it here, I mark here. I come to the center point here. And I draw something outward this way to meet the other guy. This is what we have here. You can see that. Let's still move it up. So from there, we've gotten these two things here, which is in the name of this and this. Can you see that? So let's move forward. Now if you look at this very well, there's an arc that's connected to the ending point here. Where is the ending point? I mean this ending point here. Right? Is this ending point here. Let's zoom it and see. There's an arc connecting to that point. This arc here. So what's the radius of that arc? The arc is 100. The radius of the arc is what? 100, and it's from this point here. Now this point you are seeing is this point here. So let me show you so you see what I'm talking about. Is this point here. Is that taking this point here that I'm pointing here? Is this point here. So I'll measure 100 on my meter rule. Measure 100 on my meter rule, which should be from like 3, from 1 to 11 is 100. Right? 1 to 11 is 100. So I'm going to place it on this point, which I showed you earlier, and I'll take it to that point there. You see the point here? So I'll just draw an arc this way. Can you see that? The next thing you do is just to connect an arc to this point here, just like it is interpreted, it is shown in the diagram. This arc here, you want to connect this arc here to this point here. That means somewhere around here, you want to connect it to somewhere around here, right? And we're given the radius to be what? 140. So you measure 140 on your meter rule on that point. So I'm starting from 15. So from 15 to 1 is 140, right? So this 15 will be, that is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. So 140 is somewhere around here, which is 1, right? Let me take it down more, which is what? 1 here. Now I'll not take my compass from this point to that point to just draw my arc, right? So drawing that arc, the next thing I'm going to do is that if you look at the circle here, like I said earlier, from this point here, it is a circle that is here, and the circle is external. It's like a porthole, so you add to it to fill it up. So you're adding the radius of 9 and 140, and that will give you 149. So you measure 149 on your meter rule. You measure what? 149 on your meter rule. So I'll start from 1 to 50. 50 is 140. So somewhere around there, this is what? 149. Right? On that 16 mark there. It does before 16. So I'll place it at the center point, and I will just cut my arc. You can see that. So in doing that, I'll place my compass at that point, and I'll take it to this point here, right? Because why am I taking it to that point? Because the arc is connected to that point. So I'll take it to that point here, and I'll draw my arc. It's touching this. You can see that. That's the point. So I'll take it. So let's take it and see. That's what we have there. And I'll take in this one too. So let's take in that and see how it goes. See that? I'll also take in this too. Right, then now let's see, we'll move forward. If you look at your diagram also, there's another arc here which is 140. 105. On top of it, just on top of it is 105, and from the same point from that 140. 105 from the same point here. So I'm going to measure 105. So 105, this is from 1 to 11 is 100, right? This is 105 here. See what I mean here? From 1 to 11 is 100. If I'm starting from 0 to stop at 10, so I'm starting from 1 to stop at 11. Then this 105. In between 11 and 12 is 105, right? So I'm going to place it at the same point here, and I'll just draw an arc this way. So what I'm doing, I'll draw an arc this way. So what I'll do is, I want to create another arc at this point and at this point, just like it is shown in the question. If you look at the question very well, I have an arc here which is 15. I have another arc here which is what, 6. So let's start with the one of 15. So if I start with the one of 15, if I measure 15 on my meter rule from 1 to this 15, because 1 to 2 is 10, then between 2 and 3 is 5, and that's 15. And I'll place it here at this point. Then I'll mark here and I'll bisect here. So where they meet without adjusting this guy, I'll place it here. I'll strike an arc and also place it here. I'll strike another arc. So at that point where they meet with the same radius, I'll place it at this point. Then I'm going to join them together. Can you see that? So the next one we're doing is 6, because the top one here is giving us what? Is giving us 6. You can see that. So I'll do the same thing. Measure 6 on my meter rule here. Measure from 1 to this point here is 6. Right? From 1 to this point here is 6. Now place it at the same point. I'll cut up and I'll cut here with the same radius. I'll place it here. I'll bisect. I'll place it here. I'll also bisect. So where they meet, I'll place it at this point. Then I'll draw my arc. I'll thicken it. So that's what I've done. So now I'll start thickening everything, making them outline. So from this point, now I got from here, I'll thicken this. See that? And also from here, I'll thicken this. Right? And I'll take my rule and taking the rest of those points here. Right? So I go to that, and I'll close it up too, and I'll close it up too. So this is what we have here. So you put your dimension, which will be something like this. The dimension we're copying and pasting. So if I should draw this line to this point, so from here I'll draw it to this point, and also from this point also I'll draw it to the same point. Right, so I'm doing that. So now put my arrow there. This arrow and this arrow. So this is the radius of 105, and this is the radius of 140. Then this also. Let's put it here. So in this point, this is radius of what? 15. And this is radius of 6 here. Radius of 6. And the other one is radius of 100 from this point. For me to get this arc, I draw from here. So that will be the radius of 100. This will be radius of what? 100. Then from this point, we have radius of 9. The radius of 9. Here is the radius of 8. radius of what? 8. Right? Then the other one we're doing is just take here t square and c square. The distance from here to this point is 100, so you can just do that. And something like this together with this. So from here to here, this 100 to this point to this point, giving us 25. Then what else again do we have from our diagram? Then the distance here from here to here, to this point here, then I'll give me on this point. And then that's 112. 112. 112. Then there's one here. This is 10. Right? So they are all in millimeter. So this is what we have here. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.